Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mog, Hare Krishna Jai, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Let's do the opening prayers. Please.
Guru Shishya Parampara. Ajnanaतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सवादूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादं सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचा गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा जय Jai, would you like to do Narasimha, please? Yes.
Great.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Hiranyakashi Purakaha Shilatanika Nakalaya Nasima Parato Nasima Yato Yato Yami Tato Nasima Nasima Hire Nasima Narasimha Harim Jayanam Dakare
तब कर कमल बरे राधा अद्भुत सिंह दलिता हिरण्य कशिपु तनु भंग केशव देता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
लक्ष्मी नारायण
जय लक्ष्मी नारायण सिंह जय लक्ष्मी नारायण सिंह जय लक्ष्मी नारायण सिंह जय लक्ष्मी नारायण सिंह
जय गौ हरि
हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल
जय गौर हरि बोल
निताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताई गौर हरि बोल नरसिंहदेव महाराज की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव महाराज की जय 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 श्री राधेश भक्त वृंद की जय Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Jai. That was really very nice. And may I request Aryan for Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please?
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Amok, would you sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra as well 3 times, please?
Okay.
Please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time, please, Amok. Amok,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Amok, one more time, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so very much, Amok. Very nice. Right, so let's start today's session and we will resume back where we left before we started doing 24 unique pictures. So we were on chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. Now, let's just quickly recap. Who remembers the name of chapter 1 in Bhagavad Gita? Anyone, please. It was observing.
The battlefield.
Yes, thank you. Observing the armies in the battlefield. That's the first chapter. Where chapter 1 could be divided into 2 parts. The very first part where all the introductions are going on. And then the second part where Arjun starts and he started giving the excuses to Lord Krishna that why he does not want to fight. And we remember the way he said it, C, D, E, F. And then he said I. Because of C, D, E, F, I cannot fight. C for compassion. He had the compassion for the army. D, destruction. So he was afraid that the destruction will happen. And then E, enjoyment. He said, if I will win everything, even if I will the whole planet, but everyone with whom I can enjoy that planet, if all of them going to die here in this battle, what's the benefit? With whom I will enjoy? It's like somebody will say, okay, here we go. Play table tennis, play cricket, play football, enjoy yourself. And then you will ask, with whom? You say, yeah, I forgot to mention that there is nobody alive to play with you. It's just you alone. Can you enjoy? Nope. You can't enjoy yourself. So that's what Arjun said, that I have a compassion, see, and I'm afraid of the destruction of the family traditions. And then he said, because of the lack of enjoyment. And then he said, F, I'm fearful. Why? I'm fear of
sinful reactions. That if I'm going to kill them, then I will get the sinful reaction, because many are my teachers, many are my uncle, grandparents. And because of that, I I am indecisive. So remember CGEFI. These are the 5 reasons why, or excuses rather, what Arjun said, I don't want to fight. And in chapter 2, Krishna replied back to each of those and explained him why you should fight. So what's the name of chapter 2 in Bhagavad Gita, please? Okay. So the name of chapter 2 in Bhagavad Gita is Summary. Or it could be Gita Summarized. The whole Gita summarized. So if you have a summary of Gita, then it's chapter 2, where Krishna explained briefly what's Karma Yoga, what's Gyan Yoga, what's the Dhyan Yoga, meditation, Ashtanga Yoga, and right at the end, what's Bhakti Yoga, and which is the best among all. So Krishna explained it all. Then we move to chapter 3. Now Krishna said, okay, I'm going to explain you in detail. And in chapter 3, Krishna said that I'm going to explain you about karma. Now we did mention there are 3 different types of karmas. Anyone remember? What are 3 different types of karmas? Karma means action. So Krishna said that Arjun, everyone needs to take action. You cannot live, because right at the end, Arjun said, that's it, I can't fight. I'm not going to fight. And Krishna said, well, you are a Kshatriya. You are in the army. It's your prescribed duty to fight. You cannot leave all your weapons to say you don't want to fight. It's like the mother saying, oh, I don't feel like cooking today. The father says, oh, I don't feel like going to office today. I think I'm going to quit my job and I will sit at home. Okay, Shivani laughing on that. But well, no, the father, whether father would like it or not, father will go for office. Father will not quit the job. Same thing. Mothers, you can take this as an exercise. You ask your mother, Mother, thank you so much. But do you love cooking for us? Do you enjoy your time in the kitchen? Or you do it because it's your duty to do it? And most of the time you will realize it is the duty. Mother does it as a duty for the children, for the family. And the same thing goes for the father as well. And this is what Krishna is saying, that everybody, we cannot leave our prescribed duty, what we are supposed to do. Okay, so as humans, it depends which ashram we are in. So Shivani has asked very good question, that what's our prescribed duties as humans? Now it depends in, as humans, which ashram we are in. And there are 4 ashrams. The very first one, brahmacharya, which is like student life. And in a student life, the duty is to study, to gain knowledge as much as we can. And the second is varnashram. So if you think about it, all of you, so you on the call, in the meeting, in the class, and Aryan, Shivani, everyone, all of you are students. So you are in the first ashram, first category. And the second is where we say grahast ashram. So when the person has taken all the knowledge, not that the learning stops, but at one point the person says, okay, I got enough knowledge that I can make money out of it. I can do a job, I can support someone. And the person will get married, and then the family is born. And that's called grahast ashram. When a person is married, male and female, they get married and now they are not bachelors, they are in grahast ashram. That's the second category, second ashram. And the prescribed duty there is to support each other. And of course, to support the family. And you will see all your parents at the moment, they are in that category. And then the third category is what we call, what do we call? Yeah? It's called Varnashram. And it's where one is jungle, the forest, where people used to go to the forest to do bit of hard work, and then they kind of leave the society, but they are still attached with the society in a sense. Now they would like to give back to the society, and you will see a lot of people, they get into volunteer work, and that's the perfect age to do it. The children are grown, they are gone away, and now these people, they have retired and they are committed giving back to the society. That's the third ashram called Varnashram. Maybe some of your grandparents belong to that, because your parents are earning, your grandparents might have retired, or they might be thinking to retire very soon. And what they're going to do now once they are retired? Now they, whatever they have earned, not materially in a sense that how much money they have earned, but how much they have learned. Somebody could be a doctor, somebody could be an engineer. Now they can, what they can give back. So they start doing the volunteer job, which means they don't take the money. They give their services for free. And this is called the third category, Varnashram. And the fourth one, right at the end, where the person detached from the society and said, okay, now I need to focus on my self development spiritually. And then that person detach his senses or her senses from everywhere and then focus on his own self realization. So these are the four ashrams, four category. Based on which category you are, your duty changes. And that's what Arjuna is saying. That's what Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. So thank you for that question, Shivani. Now, chapter 2 is on summary. Chapter 3 is on karma. Karma yoga. Now, action in karma yoga. So how should we do? And Krishna explained there are three different types of actions. One which is negative, one which is neutral, not bad, not good, but it's neutral, and one which is the best. It's very good. And the negative one is called vikarma, vikarma. And the neutral one is called sakarma. And the best is called akarma, also called NKY, Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now the negative one, the vikarma, means when you do something, when somebody does something, but the expectations are bad. The bad in a sense, then a robbery will happen. There will be so many robbers, and they have bad intentions. They are also doing hard work, but the intentions are very bad, to rob, to steal money or some other valuable. And the second one, which is the neutral one, is sakam, where you don't do anything bad, but again, whatever you do is not for the spiritual upliftment. What that could be? That could be when we pray to demigods and we just say, okay, I'm praying to you, please take good care of me. So when we pray to Indra and say, okay, please give us water, that's not good, because we pray to someone but to expect something back in return. It's like a trade. We say, okay, we will give you this, we will pray to you, you please give us this. Please take good care of ourselves. Right? And the third one, and that's the one Krishna says we all should do, is akarma, or NKY, Nishkam Karma Yoga. And that's the one when we do, we never expect anything back. And this could be when we sing Hare Krishna. We don't expect anything back in return, do we? When we pray to the God, we just go there and we say, thank you. Thank you for giving something back. And you might have noticed, if you're in a class and you forgot your pencil home, your eraser or something home, and you need to share with someone, somebody else has shared his rubber with you. Now you have used the rubber, you're giving that rubber back, and you say, thank you. When you give that rubber back, You don't feel, you say thank you, you show your gratitude, but do you expect anything in return? Nope, not at all. And that's what, when we do something for Krishna, for God, or maybe for ourselves, we don't expect anything back in return. And that's called a karma. So whatever we do, if the children are helping the parents, they don't expect anything back. If the parents are doing something for children, they should not expect anything back. So that's called karma, the third chapter. Now the fourth chapter is the knowledge, not the material knowledge, like how tall is Mount Everest. You're not going to find out. Bhagavad Gita is full of knowledge, but it's not the material knowledge, that which is the largest river in on planet Earth, who is the favorite actor, or who is the most richest person of the planet. Not all that gonna be here, because this knowledge is material. It will be spiritual. Now, anybody knows what's the difference between material and spiritual? So we say material world and spiritual world. What's the main difference?
Nothing.
Okay, Shivani says nothing. Well, if there is no difference, then why there are two different names?
No.
Yeah. Okay. The main difference, there could be many, but the main difference is that material life is temporary and spiritual is permanent. How? For example, let's say we are in a house, and either that house is rented or that house is owned. And if it's rented, you know somebody else was renting before you, and maybe once you will leave, somebody else will be there in that property. So you cannot say that property belongs to you. So you are the owner of that property, or the occupant of that property, temporary, right? Now, even if you have owned that property, that house is yours, but when you bought it, right before that moment, that belonged to someone else. And maybe in future, you will sell that property. So it could belong to someone else. So this property is ours, temporary. Doesn't matter for how long, but somebody could easily buy that property. The same thing goes with a car. The same thing goes with the toys, the favorite books. Anything you can think of which you say it's mine, that's temporary. Even if you think about the parents, you say, this is my father. Well, what happened when the person dies? And we have discussed this in past, where as soon as the person dies, nobody says that this is my father. What do we say?
It's a dead body.
We say it's a dead body. So who is the father? Who is the mother? Who are we? Who am I? Is it the body? Or is it the soul inside? Or is it the consciousness which make us think? So these are so important questions we should always think. Now, spiritually, Krishna is there. And Krishna was there even before this planet was born. Krishna will still be there when this planet will get destroyed. Krishna will always be there. And that's why we say Krishna is spiritual, permanent, and our body, this world, is temporary. So this is the difference. And this is the knowledge. The knowledge of what is material and what is spiritual is called transcendental. Spiritual knowledge is called transcendental knowledge. So we also said that everything we feel is around the senses. Now what if we go beyond the senses? We have 5 senses. Now do you have any favorite thing you would like to do? Why? So let me say, Arvind, what do you like to do? What's your favorite thing? Like we will say, okay, Arvind, today is Sunday, which it today is. Go, enjoy yourself. What would you like to do?
Play on the laptop.
Okay, so Arvind would like to play on laptop. And maybe you would like to do that as well. Maybe everybody would like to play on laptop or play on something else or would like to watch something. Now what I will request you, I will say, okay, play, but don't use your senses. Now what do I mean by that? I mean, don't use your nose, so don't smell. Don't use your ears, so don't listen, so you cannot listen. And don't use your eyes, which means you cannot watch. And don't taste. So if somebody will say, oh, I would like to eat my favorite thing, but that's a sense. I'm saying don't use your senses. So don't use your tongue. And don't touch. Somebody will say, oh, I got a very ugly, cuddly teddy bear and I would like to hug that teddy bear. No, because the skin is one of those. Touch is one of those senses. So we don't want any hearing. So eyes are gone, ears are gone, nose gone, tongue gone, skin gone. All these 5 senses are gone. Now can you do your favorite thing? Okay, Shivani says yes. Okay. Arvind?
No.
No. Okay, so Shivani, how do you think yes?
I won't be able to touch this. Well,
True.
you didn't say I can't think.
Great.
I can actually try to think.
Okay, very nice. Yes. So,
Now, if you're trying to think it, you don't have to say verbally. That's not the thing.
okay.
Can you?
Yeah, thank you. So, yes, if you think about it, apart from these 5 senses, the very first thing is whatever we do, these 5 senses are there. So, we experience from these 5 senses. It could be one senses, it could be more than one. So, it could be that you are eating. So, you're touching the food and you're bringing the food in the mouth. And we are eating. So, the tongue is used, the skin is used. Similarly, if you are watching, the eyes are used and the ears are used. So anything we think is just because of these senses. If these senses are not there, which certainly they are not, as soon as the body goes, what happens? Whatever we enjoy stops. So all that knowledge is explained in chapter 4. Now chapter 5. Arvind, would I request to read first 2, please?
Okay. Connection between chapter 4 and chapter 5. Arjuna is still confused, though he has heard transcendental knowledge from Krishna. Should he renounce activities, jnana, or should he perform his duty, karma?
Thank you. So now, chapter 3, Krishna said, chapter 2, Krishna summarized everything, but Arjun said, okay, could you give more information? So chapter 3, Krishna explained about the about the karma, about the actions. Chapter 4, Krishna explained about the knowledge. Now, Arjun is thinking that Krishna told me about chapter 3 that do the action, whatever your prescribed duty is. And then Krishna said that chapter 4 is the knowledge, to gain knowledge. So should I gain knowledge or should I do the action? And think about it. What do you think? What do you think Krishna would say? If Arjuna is saying, should we do work? Should we do the karma yoga? Should we do the action? Or should we just take the knowledge, Jnana Yoga? Now what Krishna is going to explain. Right, okay. I've just got the message that within 5 minutes the meeting will disappear. So feel free to come back and we will have another 10-15 minutes and we will find out. But I will continue meanwhile. So Arjun is asking between these two, should we do the karma or should we just learn the knowledge. And then Krishna is going to explain which is the best. Therefore, chapter 5 opens with a question similar to the one Arjuna asked at the beginning of the chapter 3. Which is better, work or renunciation of work? Which means for Arjun, what was his work? He was a Kshatriya. He was in the army. So his work was to fight. And what he is saying, he's saying, I don't want to fight, which means I want to renounce. It's like this sports.
That's basically not doing his duty.
That's right, yes. And what lesson do we get? That we don't want to do our work. Mother says, I don't want to cook. Father says, I am not going to school. Children saying, we are not going to go to school to learn. Now, yes, temporarily, maybe father will say, okay, I have booked a week holiday, let's go on holiday. Mother will say, okay, today is Sunday, give me some rest. And children will say, oh, well, summer vacations have started already. So we won't go to school. Obviously, we can do the learning at home. And these sessions are part of it. And if you will ask your parents on the WhatsApp group, I've shared a very nice, Jay, I will send to your father as well, Prabhuji. I will send him, it's a very nice, watch it. It's especially for kids. During summer vacations, you might, we used to do classes every day, but we reduced it to a few days just because I'm working on another project. And that project is coming along very nice. It's called Young Leadership Program. And it's for the kids. And those kids are taking many other lessons. And so I have shared my session as well. But I've shared another session, YouTube clip. They all are getting used. So we save these sessions on the file as audio and video. And then we put them on YouTube. We upload on YouTube, but those are other sessions. They get live broadcast on YouTube. Share those links with you. So, well, with everyone else in the group. But Jai, I will send it to Prabhuji because I think your dad is not there in that group. Yeah. And there is another session as a part of that summer camp, and that's called Discovery of Self. Discovery of self, and it's a self. So it's a kind of self journey, and it's very important that we will learn about ourselves, and it's mainly for kids. And you will see a lot of engagement, a lot of questions, and obviously it was live when it was live. Now I can share on the same YouTube. If you on the same YouTube channel, if you will subscribe to it, you could see every morning. So what's today? Today is today is back Sunday. So tomorrow morning UK time, it happens in Dubai. Dubai is 3 hours ahead. So you will notice tomorrow from 7 till 10 for 3 hours every day. Well, I think Thursday and Friday are off. Otherwise 7 till 10 every morning from Sunday to Wednesday, you have something going on, and a lot of things happens, and they are live on YouTube on that channel which I have shared. So if you like, you can get engaged there. Now this session might close anytime. So if you like to come back, you can come back, and we will carry on for another 10 minutes. But this is how we split chapter 5. So we did a bit of revision today. Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. And in chapter 5 started with a very good question, what Krishna is saying. Arjuna is asking from Krishna, that should we fight? Should I fight or I should not? And for us, should we do our prescribed duty or we don't? Now, a number of times you might say, oh, I'm very tired. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, what is this? Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Well, good to have you, Tanvay. I hope you are doing well.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Right. So we have resumed back to Bhagavad Gita. because we have completed the seminars of 24 unique teachers of Lord Dattatreya. And just before the session got disconnected, we caught up. We did the revision on chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and we started chapter 5, where Arjun asked Krishna that what we should do. Should I do Nishkam Karma Yoga, like doing the action without expecting anything, which is the essence of chapter 3? Or should I do Jnana, Jnana Yoga, which is gaining more knowledge, self-realizing myself, which seems to be the essence of chapter 4, transcendental knowledge. So after chapter 3 and chapter 4, as soon as chapter 5 is started, Arjuna asked, so out of chapter 3, chapter 4, what should I do? Should I do the karma or should I do the jnana? And which is better and which is easier? And these are the 6 sections of chapter 5. So first 6, that Krishna will explain, do karma. Karma yoga is much better. Not only karma yoga, and we saw in karma yoga there are different types of it. Vikarma, negative. Sakarma, neutral. Akarma, nishkam karma yoga. Doing karma without expectation, that is the best, even better than jnana yoga, right? Rather than gaining a lot of knowledge, it's better if we do the actions, but without desiring.
Because if you gain a lot of knowledge, then you can actually you can lose knowledge also. So if it's for like 1 week or something, then you lose knowledge. Then
Yes.
then you do bad habits, then the habits don't go. But if you do bhakti, then you can always go in the right one.
Hari bol. Very nice. Yes, Tanmay. Yes. So that's why Krishna says that not knowledge. It's good. Knowledge is good. It's really good to have it. But if you compare both, karma, action. So we should do our prescribed action. And we will see there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna will say that even if you can't do your action properly, still do it rather than doing somebody else's. So for example, Arjun was a Kshatriya. His prescribed duty was to fight. If he will say, no, out of compassion, I'm going to go and I will become the Brahmin and I'm just going to become the priest, that will not suit him. However, he was a great Kshatriya, but even if he were not, still Krishna suggested that fight, because you are Kshatriya. So we are student. So we should not think, oh, we can earn a little bit money. And sometime it happens. And I remember myself, when I completed my school, I had just started my college and I was taking tuitions for the school children. And even when I was a student myself, I had started earning. And I thought, well, this is nice. This is nice because a lot of time people study so hard to gain money. And I'm a student, I've already started doing it. But that shouldn't have been the focus of my life. And certainly it was not. And I focused back on my studies as soon as I realized that. And that's what Krishna is saying. The action is the main thing. Then we will see the second section. Krishna will explain how to perform and what will happen, the performance of Nishkam Karma Yoga. Because it's very easy to say. Yes, Tanmay, please, would you like to add something? All right, okay. I just thought Tanmay, we got 2 connections from Tanmay. I thought Tanmay would like to add something, but that's all right. So yes, Nishkam Karma Yoga, how we can do it. Okay, Avi has 13 to 16, the third section where we will see there are 3 types of doers. So who is doing the karma? Now it's so interesting. If we will raise our hand, who is that person? Who is it? Is it me? But who is me? So, is this hand me? Is this nose me? Is this eyes me? Who is me? Whom I can call in my body being me? If I will say, this is my hand, okay, this is my hand. It could be that this is my pencil. So that pencil is not me. Similarly, this hand is not me. These eyes are not mine. So anything we think of in our body, they all are mine, but they are not me. So what is me, which I consider as me? And who is that me who does all that work? And that's very interesting. Why? Because a lot of time we get into false ego. What is false ego? False ego is when we think, oh, I have done it. Now, Amog has prepared and cleared 11 plus. Tanmay is preparing. Okay, sure, Avi. I think you got some issues there. Avi's internet was getting connected, and Avi is obviously already in year 8, and Jay is going to prepare for 11 plus. And then once you go 11 plus, you go great marks, and you will say, I did it. Who is that I who did it? You will say, it's my brain. But again, it's my brain. It's your brain. But is your brain you? Who does it? And then between 13 and 16, we will see there are 3 different types of doers within our body. And we will discuss in detail. It's so interesting. What could be more interested than you yourself? If somebody will say, who is the most interesting person in your life? It got to be me. It got to be me. I cannot see, oh, I'm not interested in myself. No, there's no one who will say, no, I'm not interested in myself. There is no one who can say, I don't love myself. No, you will love yourself. Who is the one who will get pained the most? You or the neighbor? Certainly you. The neighbor might not. And that's the point. Then verse 17 to 26, we will see what Krishna will explain. Out of 3 doers, one is super soul. And then we will discuss what super soul is and how to focus on super soul. And then last 3 verses, 27, 28, 28 will mention about, 27, 28 will mention briefly about Ashtang Yoga. Ashtang, Asht is 8 in Sanskrit. So there is a yoga which has 8 limbs. Ashtang, tang is legs or limbs. So there are 8 limbs yoga practices, which is very famous from India. But most of the time, what we do is only one part of it, which is physical exercise, what people you do in Western world. But there are 8 parts of it. So what it is, we need to think about. And chapter 6 will go in detail what this is. And then right at the end, the last verse of this section, 29 verse, Krishna will give a peace formula. And everybody in this world want peace. Yeah, we would like to be happy. So this is what we discuss in chapter 5. Now, I'm just checking the time. Okay, we still have 5 quick minutes, so we can do the section. So the first one, NKY is equal to, but easier than Jnana. Which means, Krishna says, you can achieve me by karma or Jnana. But karma is much better. It's like, if we will say we would like to go from London to Manchester, there are 2 ways you can go. The one way, going M1 maybe, M25 and then M1, is the easier way. So which way will you go? Well, it will be very wise to use the easier way. Yeah? Well, obviously, until unless there is something else wrong with it. But if there is something else wrong with it, then it won't be called as easier way. This is what Krishna is going to say here. So Arjuna has doubts. Arjuna said, which is better, renounce or work? Renounce means leaving the work. which means I will go in the mountains and I will try to meditate. But Krishna says, nah, nope, 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 nope. Krishna says, don't you think that renunciation and work are different? Rather, they are on the same path, and very soon we will see one picture where Krishna will say that it's a ladder, yoga ladder, and then there are two rungs, the steps, and one is karma and one is jnana. So don't you think that they both are in opposite direction and you can only take one route? For example, I will say you can only take M25 or M1. And somebody will say, which one shall I take? And then you have to have one out of those two. But then I will explain to someone, well, actually, you can take both. Which means, first you have to take M1, or from London, where we are, in South London. First you have to take M25. And then you reach to M1. Don't you think that you need to take one? You will have to take both. And which one you have to take first is the main thing. Don't just rely on one. And this will get clearer later. But basically what Krishna is saying, don't think of renouncing work. However, renounce the fruits of the work. What does that mean? That means do nishkam karma yoga. Don't renounce the work. Renouncing work, when a student will say, I don't want to study. When a sports person say, oh, I don't want to. Sometimes it happens, for example, Australian cricket team is great, or it used to be. And then there might be some maybe from Afghanistan. The team is very new. And they will say, oh, there might be one best man who will say, oh, I'm the best. But he will say, as soon as he will realize, oh, the next match is with Australia, he will say, I'm not going to play. So that's called renouncing, leaving the action altogether. But what Krishna is saying, no, do the action. But don't expect any results. When you go and play, don't you think whether you're going to win or lose. Just go and give your best. And that's called renouncing the fruits of the work. Like, what do you have the expectation? What desires you have? Detach from the work. So don't renounce the work, renounce the fruits of the work. And when we will do this, then there will be no problem at all. Okay? There won't be. Okay. Now let me just do this slide and then we will wrap up. So we say conclusion is yukta vairagya. This is a Sanskrit terms. Yukta, you can think complete or attach. Attach in a sense, whole your mind is there. And vairagya is detach. So you're completely detached. Yukta vairagya. You're completely detached. And that's what we do. That when we do anything, we are detached from the fruits of it, which means we are not desiring it. Okay. On the same theme, we will continue tomorrow. Okay. We will continue tomorrow at 3 p.m. in afternoon. Those of you who will be able to come, we will continue. And if we have any question on what we have discussed today, please let me know. You have a question, Arya?
No.
No? Everything clear?
Yeah.
Good. You are going to do Nishkam Karma Yoga?
Try.
Okay. That's it. We can try our best. And that's what we should do. And that's the best we could do. All right. Okay. With that, I will wish you all a great evening. Take good care of yourselves. Keep yourselves safe.
To Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Jai. And I will look forward to see you soon. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.